guys, oh my goodness, this is my 4th video for the day. Can you believe it? So I'm trying to do this thing where I like batch record so I can actually keep them like consistent for you guys, because there's just some weeks that it's just not going to happen. So this is my 4th for the day, so I'm feeling a little manic, but I thought we would do a little what's in my magical bag thing. I never did one of these and I always thought they looked really fun. I've actually started going out places now, so I've got some things happening in my bag. So I thought I would take you on a little show and tell today to see what's in my magical bag. Alrighty, let's pop that there. So the first thing, let's start with this. The first thing I have is a little notebook. Now, usually I end up putting notes in my phone anyway, so I really don't know why I have this, but it's so pretty. It's a little zodiac notebook. Isn't it gorgeous? And I love the little gold and stuff on it. But you know, every now and again you need paper for something. I quite like writing things on paper. I have found that my little phone notes thing is very handy for when I get video ideas or whatever, but sometimes I want it on the paper. Sometimes I need to spread out my ideas a little bit, you know. I don't know if that makes sense to any of you. But so I've got a little notebook in there, which I haven't actually used yet. It's still brand new. I bought it like over a year ago though, but you know, haven't been anywhere, so I haven't needed to use it. Next in here I have my gloves. There we go. It's been a little bit chilly, so I've got little tiny fingerless glove thing. I might put them on now actually, because why not? Aren't they cool? They're not very exciting. I got them off eBay like for, you know what, they're a bit nasty. I won't put them on now. I got them off eBay like forever ago. I got a couple of different colors in the same style. They were like super cheap and I had them for years. They're the best thing ever. I've got a few different shades. I've got some red ones actually, which would probably work perfectly today because I have red nails. All right, the next thing I have in here is a sage stick. So yes, sage is having issues right now in the world. Sage is actually becoming endangered in certain areas. So this stick, and I've got a bunch of others as well, I actually bought several years ago. I went through a huge stage where I wasn't using sage at all, but I adore sage, and I'm actually growing it myself now. So very soon. In 3 years' time, I'll have my own sage, which I'm really excited about. But in the meantime, I'm using what I have kind of conservatively. And I did another video where I showed some incenses that I have of white sage as well. And I'm going to be doing some more exploration, trying to find some good white sage incense because I adore the smell and I love the energy of sage as well. But I have this in here. This, you know, obviously for clearing space if I need to. I haven't used it yet for burning, but I love to just smell it as well. I find I was going to open the bag and do the whole thing, but it's kind of an annoying noise, I think. I'm not into, is it ASMR? Is that the whispering thing? Oh, I hate that stuff. It just gets me wrong. I hate it. Anyway, so I'm not going to do that to you, even though I know a lot of you probably like it. But anyway. But I find it a very, very comforting smell. So I will sniff it too. I've been having some issues with social anxiety. It's pissed me off actually, because I had worked through all of this stuff. And then just after we came out of lockdown here in Australia, so we went in for 4 months, a very heavy lockdown down in my area of Australia, so Melbourne. We weren't allowed to go more than 5 kilometers from our house, which is about 2 miles. We were only allowed to go for a walk for an hour a day with a mask on. We were only allowed to go one person from a household to a shop. Just all these kinds of, you know, just heavy rules, right? So that was fine. I handled that pretty well. But then as soon as lockdown ended, which I think was last October, so it was in spring as well. I always feel a little bit funny around spring. I've always just had this bit of kind of anxiety that happens in spring. And then lockdown ended and it just has been a problem ever since. So I've been doing a lot of work on that, which I've got some things in this bag to show you as well. But just to give me that comfort, I found sage really, really useful too. All right, the next thing we have in here is my wallet. How cool is this? So it's the Marauders map from Harry Potter. So I needed a new wallet like a couple of years ago, and I was looking around and I was like, I want to get something that I really love, right? And then I saw this and I'm like, well, that's obviously it. I'm probably going to have this wallet forever, I swear to God. I love it so much. So obviously it says, Messrs. Mooney, Wormtail, Padfoot and Prongs are proud to present the Marauders map. So in here I have a few magical bits and pieces. Shoved down in the corner, I think I'll just show you on the B-roll. I've got a little piece of pyrite, a little piece of rose quartz, a piece of adventurine, that's the triangle thing there, and a little piece of snake skin. So this was magic I was doing in my wallet actually several years ago, and I still have it in there, but I was transforming my finances. So I was working on obviously attracting in prosperity and then transforming how my finances were. Because, you know, I mentioned in my Where Have I Been video that I had some very heavy financial issues for quite a time there, which really came to a head in 2018. It was terrible. So anyway, I was doing some very heavy work back then, so I had those in my wallet as part of that work. And then I also have in here, in the little key, what's it called? Not key, coin section, I've also got a bay leaf, just a little bay leaf. Bay leaf is incredible for prosperity and drawing in that prosperity. And I have a little coffee bean, a ground of coffee there. And that's something that I picked up from Crimson Fyre. That's something that she keeps in her wallet, and she had told me about it. And so ever since she told me about it, I put one in there too. And that's again that to attract that wealth and those riches. Coffee to me is so wealthy, like, just, I don't know, the smell of it, like, it's so rich. You know, I actually don't drink coffee myself. I'm not a coffee fan really. I mean, I don't mind the taste of it. I've just not allowed myself to get addicted to it, because I'm like, I don't need another addiction in my life, you know. So I'm like, I'm gonna keep coffee out. I'm a tea drinker, but I love the smell of coffee. It's beautiful. So anyway, that's in there as well. Then what do we have? We've got my tarot deck in here. How gorgeous is this bag? I love this bag so much. This is just my Rider-Waite deck in here. So just your standard back vibrant Rider-Waite. I don't know, I know they've all got different names. I'm not that much of a tarot nerd where I know all the different Rider-Waite, you know, versions and names and whatever, but I really love this deck. It's so funny, I actually never liked the Rider-Waite, and I was like, I never will like the Rider-Waite, but I got this deck for a course that I was going to be doing, and I had it in my collection for a few years without ever really touching it, and then I just started to play with it, and I can't tell you guys, I fell in love. I love the Rider-Waite. I know that a lot of people don't, but I feel very close with this deck. So in another way, sort of like the Sage, I kind of use it as a talisman. So it is a comfort for me as well when I'm out and about and whatever. Obviously I can do readings wherever I am, which is awesome, but it's also, yeah, as a talisman, just, I feel so deeply connected to it. So I like to have this one with me. And I've got this bag. I love this bag. I'm going to put the store down below that I got this bag from. I've ordered like 5 bags from this woman now, I think, and they're all different for my tarot decks. I love them because they're nice and big. They've got this beautiful, like, soft material. This was the first one I got, and I thought it would be so perfect for the Rider-Waite. So I've got that there. Next, we have my pendulum. So I've got my little pendulum here. So again, for divination on the road, I really like pendulum work. It took me quite a few years to get into pendulums. I just didn't connect with it at all. I felt too much like I was the one moving the pendulum, if you know what I mean. And if you're new to pendulum work, you probably know exactly what I mean. But I don't know, just after time and practice, like, I adore pendulums now. They're just such a simple form of divination and really, really powerful. This is like my general one because it's nice quartz. This is actually from Earthly Alchemy that I was gifted many years ago, and I really love that. It's my on the road, on the go pendulum, because every witch needs some kind of divination on her at all times, or him at all times, or them. Okay, next we have this little, I'll show you this next. It's not that exciting. This is just a cloth. It's an old scarf, and I use that for doing tarot readings. Like, you know, so if there's a dirty surface there or something like that, I'll just lay that down and that's just there. I'd like to get a nicer one, I think, but I feel like the colors pop nicely on this. We think about the visuals. So I've just got that one there. Next, I have this little pouch here. Now, I got this idea from the wonderful Ravenflower, who shared her own magical on-the-go bag a few weeks ago. So I will link that down below as well. But it's candles, colored candles. So I didn't used to carry candles around with me, but there have been times where I have been out somewhere private, out in nature, and I've wanted to burn a candle. I've wanted to do a little spell there, and I love candle magic. It's probably one of the main kind of magics that I do, I think. And I've got this really cool lighter in there too, which says, "Where is my lighter?" and it's got space stuff on the back. I love this lighter. I use it sparingly because I know it'll run out sometime soon and I really like it. And I've got that in there with my different coloured candles. So she had candles and she had this gorgeous little candelabra as well. Oh my god, it was so cute. So I was like, you know what, I've got to put crystals? I've got to put candles in my bag as well for when I need them. I'm not really out and about in nature much at the moment these days, but when I get out there again, I have them on hand in case I should need them for anything. The next thing I have is this little bag of coins here. So these have been charging and sitting on my altar for probably about the last month, I think, or so now. And these I use for offerings. I use them particularly when I go to the cemetery. Now, I haven't built a strong connection with any cemeteries around here yet. I wasn't obviously able to go out really much last year, but I had a very strong bond with one that was near me at the last house that I lived. So the one that was actually in my town I didn't feel anything there. I didn't feel any connection whatsoever. But there was one that was a little drive away and I built a very strong connection with that space and I deeply miss it. I really loved just connecting and communing with the spirits there. I didn't actually do any spell work in that space. I had just built up the connection. So I'd been doing that over very many months and I was very, very sad to leave it when it was time to go. And I haven't kind of built connections with the ones here yet. I've got a couple which I have connections with through family, and there's another one which is a beautiful old little cemetery which one of my friends is actually buried in. But both are quite far away, and just because of the way my life is structured now, I need something close by. So unfortunately there are none in my town, but I've got two the opposite direction which are about a 15-minute drive either way. So I'm hoping sometime this week I'm going to get the chance to go down there and just spend some time and feel them both out and see which one is going to kind of be my home away from home sort of thing. Just looking at like the maps, like the Google Map Earth thing, I think one of them is going to be better than the other because the other one's very open and it's very grid-like, and there's a big kind of building right in the middle which looks like, you know, the workers or the people that, you know, they'll probably be there and they can just see everything, like it's all overlooked. Whereas the other one looked like it had kind of a tree covered corner. So I think that will probably be my one. But I've got to go and I've got to check it out. Anyway, so when I enter there, these coins will be for what is known as the gatekeeper, essentially the guardian of the cemetery. The gatekeeper protects the spirits in the cemetery, but also protects or keeps them in the cemetery, so it keeps them from wandering around. There are many different traditions when it comes to the cemetery, and some people don't believe in a gatekeeper, but I very much, you know, it depends on the cemetery, but the last one I was at had a very strong gatekeeper, and so I'm just preparing for that. And also, if I take anything from the cemetery, it's really important to leave some kind of offering to make payment for that. So, you know, whether it be dirt or stones or leaves or sticks or anything from the graveyard needs to be paid for, I believe. So I always have some coins on hand. Often I will just put out whatever coins I kind of have, but I really wanted to sort of charge up and make special a little like batch of them to actually give, especially because I am making that first contact, and just because I've got the time and the inclination, I'm sort of putting that into, you know, preparing to go and say hello to some spirits and see about making a connection. So that's those. And then next here I've just got this bag of bags. So I've got, it's, you know, just filled with plastic, little plastic bags for any time I want to collect dirt or herbs, or, you know, do some wild crafting, or if I find bones or whatever it is. I've just got some little bags in here because those are always handy, and witches always need little bags, right? So anytime I get anything that's in a plastic bag like that, I always keep it and reuse it. And then, okay, in here I have a few different things. So I've got a stick of Palo Santo, which is new. I haven't actually used that one yet. I love Palo Santo for blessing a space. So I know some people use it as a really powerful cleanser. I don't get that vibe from it. I don't feel like it's a very good space cleanser personally, but I really love it for when I am connecting with my ancestors in particular. I really use it for them and just spirits that I'm very close with. So I really enjoy it for that, and kind of, yeah, blessing a space and sort of inviting in spirits. Whoa, did you guys hear that? That was a plane that like rumbled the whole house. It's a double brick house. It's not easy to do. All right. Then I have some beautiful oil here that I really like to wear. So this is Temple of Light oil by Earthly Alchemy. This is just like a nice pick me up. I find that like it's a nice little high vibe oil that I'll just put on if I'm just wanting a little, almost like a little magical hug, I suppose. Like I really enjoy it, for example, after I've come out of a shopping center, and you know, shopping centers, like there's just so much energy there. So I will, you know, sort of do a quick little cleanse on myself and put on a little oil to kind of like feel more myself again, I suppose. And then in here, I've got this little piece of chalk. So this is a charged piece of magical chalk. So it is just a regular piece of chalk, but it has been consecrated in ritual, in magical space. And so, you know, I'll use this if I'm out and about. If I need to do any kind of drawing on the ground for ritual, I can do that. But I tend to use it more on myself. So I will use this for protection when I'm going into a cemetery. I really like using it on my son for the same reason. Like if we're going into the cemetery, but if we're going anywhere else as well, I'll just quickly draw on his neck and his wrists and things like that, because, you know, obviously he doesn't want anything to kind of be on him that can be seen. So I'll just pop that on and sort of give it a wipe off or whatever. But I find that really, really good for protection work, you know, whatever it is that's happening. Or yeah, again, if doing ritual, I can obviously draw on the ground and that sort of thing. And then I have, this is a cleanse, what do I call it? A psychic cleansing spray. It's my psychic cleansing spray. So it cleanses an area, but it also opens up the space so I can be more receptive. So this is specifically for when I'm doing readings somewhere, right? So I would do this in quiet space. I wouldn't be out in mass public spraying this, because it does help me to pick up on more subtle vibrations, and I'm already a very sensitive person as it is, but this is just, yeah, to clear that space and to kind of open it up ready for spiritual receptivity as well, you know, divination, that kind of thing. And cutscene. So my camera ran out of space, and then I put all the stuff onto my computer, which took a while, and then I came back and I started talking to you again. And after a little while, I realized that I hadn't actually taken all the stuff off the camera. So I ran out of space again. So this is the third time that I'm telling you about this crystal. So this is a beautiful piece of tiger's iron. So for me, this stone is incredibly grounding. When I hold it, I just feel deeply rooted into the earth. Incredibly grounding, and it helps me feel really safe. I also find that it's really good for helping me with creativity as well. So perhaps that's something to do with just that feeling grounded, you know, kind of good and within myself, but it helps me to make different connections and stuff as well. So I find this really helpful for when I am doing readings out and about. It kind of has a really good energy for me to kind of support those readings and just make those connections and things like that. So I have that in with those little things in this little black bag. All right, next, did I tell you about anything else? I hope I didn't tell you about anything else. I can't remember now. There may have been something I've missed showing you, but hopefully not. All right, I just feel like I spoke so much. Anyway, okay, so the next little thing I have here is this little spell bag. So this is actually something that I did up for the weekend. So we had a wedding on. Oh my God, you guys, it was so much fun. I got to dance the night away. I fucking love dancing. I love to groove. It is like one of my most favorite things when there's good music. And this wedding had amazing music. So we've had 2 friends get married in the last month. So some this past weekend and some a month ago. They were waiting all last year. They couldn't get married. That was really cool. It was really cool to be there and be part of it. And it was a really good party. But I was telling you guys, you know, I have had these social anxiety issues, and it's something I've really been working through, and I've made a lot of progress since last year. But I was still feeling really anxious when it was coming up to this wedding, which annoyed me because, you know, like I love the people and like we're friends and it's all, you know what I mean? I was just like, oh, this is so frustrating. So I've really been doing a lot of magical work on my anxiety. And I created this little spell bag that I worked on for a period of time before the wedding was coming up, and it really, really helped. So in here I have a piece of crystal. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like dumortierite or dumortierite or something like that. I'm gonna put it on the screen so you can see that's how it's spelled. So however you say that. But this, oh my God, as soon as I picked up this crystal, I just felt this sense of calm descend upon me. Like I literally felt it from my head coming down, you know, all through my body. And I was like, oh yeah, this is the one to work with. So I have that in there. And then I've got a bunch of lavender as well for that calming of the mind. Lavender is associated with Mercury, as in the planet Mercury. And I find that it's incredibly calming. It's incredibly soothing. So I have that in there. And I also dressed that, I suppose, with some lavender oil as well to give it a stronger scent. And it still smells lovely. And then I have a piece of mallow root in there as well. Now I'm not going to B-roll you guys with this one. B-roll, you know, it's like, for those of you who don't know, it's like when you get the close-up. So the thing that I've been putting all through here. But I actually did B-roll at a different stage because I had filmed this video already before and then I lost it. But I still have the B-roll, so I'm using the B-roll. Anyway, so I'm not going to B-roll you with this one, but it's got a little piece of mallow root in there. And now I've put the mallow root in there because when I feel anxious, and I'm sure it's the same for probably most people, obviously the anxiety is in my head, but it affects my body. So I get physical sensations in my body, deeply uncomfortable feelings in my body. And so the mallow is for my body to be mellow. So from head to root, mallow. This little baby, let me tell you, so I was tense and freaking out, you know, during the day before the wedding happened. And I actually have an oil that I dressed the crystal with. It's my Tranquil Mind oil. It's just, oh my God, it's such good stuff. And I dressed that in there and I anointed myself with the oil and I held this bag and I just felt so much more calm. It was such a relief. Anyway, so this is my little spell bag. I'm probably going to keep it in my bag for those times I need it. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to keep it on my altar and I'll put it in my bag when I need it. Then I can, you know, redress it and things like that and keep it charging up on the altar because I'm not planning to go anywhere anytime soon now. It's another few months until the next wedding and we don't have any other events happening. But anyway, that's in there as well. And then I think this is the last thing. What do I got? Oh, well, I've got some mundane items. I've got lipstick from the wedding as well. Was looking for that. And my sunglasses. I was looking for these yesterday too. They're my sunglasses from the wedding as well. It was a beautiful day, you guys. I needed my sunglasses. I'm so glad I had them. We were standing outside and because it's been really cold and kind of dark, you know, for a while. Autumn's here. But on that day, it was perfect. It was 19 degrees, which is that. And it was so sunny and we were standing right in the sun, like they were getting married, you know, in front of the sun, and it was just so beautiful. Anyway, sunglasses. And then later inside when we went to party, I took them off, obviously. So then in this little bag, I've got a bunch of crystals. So I have a piece of rose quartz here. So it's not the prettiest piece of rose quartz, as you can see, but I don't have any nice pieces that I want, like that aren't in use right now elsewhere, you know, in my life and in my magic. So I've got this piece of rose quartz here. I love rose quartz. It's one of my most favorite stones. I find it deeply comforting. Deeply, deeply comforting, and it helps me to work from heart space or to be in heart space at any given time. So again, if I am doing a reading out and about somewhere, or just, you know, if I need a bit of extra rose quartz, if something's going on, I have that there, and I just, even though it's not the prettiest piece, it does feel really beautiful. And then I have this gorgeous piece of labradorite here. Look at that. Isn't that freaking stunning? So I've had this guy for years now, and labradorite is a stone of magic. So this is with me to support me in any workings that I'm doing. When I need to channel that energy, that is there for me. And look at how beautiful, like I just can't even get over it. It's so stunning. I always forget, you know, you forget your labradorite so beautiful, and you pick it up and you move it through the light and you're like, oh, it's so pretty. So pretty. Okay, and then I have a piece of clear quartz here. This is actually one of my very, very first crystals. I love this guy so much. And this is kind of like a little wand, I suppose, little point to help direct energy and for any purpose. Like clear quartz is one of those, of course, multi-purpose stones. And I just find this one is a really good director of energy. So I have that with me just in case I should need it for anything. And then I have a piece of agate here as well. I just really love this piece, and it was a gift, so it just feels really special, but it feels really fiery, and I feel like it's not grounding, but it's passion. Like it invigorates me. That's the word I'm looking for. It feels very invigorating. So I like to have that with me should I need some invigoration of some kind. And then I have this beautiful pink leopard, what's it called? Crap. Leopard jasper, I think that's what it is, leopard jasper. Isn't it beautiful? I love this piece. And for me, again, this piece, I haven't actually looked into what leopard jasper is energetically to everyone else or anything like that, but for me, this stone is deeply creative. So it gets me in touch with that flair of myself. So I like to have that on me in case I want to have any help kind of channeling that sort of flair or anything like that. I've got that here with me. So you guys, I'm pretty sure, oh, I'm knocking things about. Yep, all right, relax everyone. That is what I have in my bag. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's been a bit all over the place. I would love to hear what you have in your magical bag. What do you carry around with you? I don't go a whole lot of places, as I mentioned, so that's why there's so much magical stuff in there, because I don't have to carry around a whole bunch of mundane stuff. You know, I've got wallet, keys, phone, glasses, whatever. So I've got space for all this other stuff. But I would love to hear what's in yours. What do you carry around with you? What do you have on you to help you out energetically or magically, or as like a talisman, as a comfort for you? What sort of stuff do you carry around in your bag? If you make a video about this, please let me know. Put it down below. But again, as I always say, put a little synopsis of what the video is about. Don't just leave like naked links, because people won't click on those. It's kind of spammy. But if you tell us what it's about, like, hey, I made a video about this, blah, 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 you know, something, then I will click on it, and I know that other people would probably love to click on it and see what you have in your magical bag as well. So do let us know. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm wishing you so much love and many, many blessings, and I will see you in the next one.